Alright, hello, and welcome to a video on my favourite Tom and Jerry cartoons. This cat and mouse duo have been entertaining the world for over 80 years, with the first cartoon being made in 1940. There has been many different generations of this slapstick duo. I'll be choosing my favourites from the original shorts though, which spanned from 1940 to 1967. With the age of these cartoons comes a warning, as some will include the character Mammy Two Shoes, a controversial character which was phased out in later cartoons due to the depictions of racial stereotyping. By picking some of these in the list, I'm not saying that these depictions are okay. Also, this is my own personal list. I'm not saying this is the definitive top 10, as some people will have different opinions. So feel free to share your favourites in the comments. With that being said, sit back and relax as I take you through a nostalgic trip. Filled with slapstick, this is the top 10 Tom and Jerry cartoons. Kicking off the list, we have Polka Dot Puss from 1949. On a stormy night, Tom does not want to be kicked out. So basically, he pulls a sickie, so he can stay inside in the warmth. I mean, we've all been there, although my acting was never quite as good as Tom's. It does, however, mean he gets to also chase Jerry around the house. To get some revenge, Jerry convinces Tom actually has the measles, which, cause he's an idiot, he falls for. This leads to some amazing scenes of Jerry pretending to help Tom, but actually he is just torturing him. Serves him right though for pretending to be sick. Just a fantastic cartoon. It's one I watched countless times when I was young. It's not exactly a work of art or stands out with anything special, but it's a solid classic Tom and Jerry adventure, which ends with them both getting the measles. In 9th place we have Cat and Duplicat from 1967. Some Tom and Jerry purists may shudder at this pick, but I am a fan of Chuck Jones, and yes, overall the Chuck Jones era of Tom and Jerry shorts were not at the same standard due to the budget, but they had their moments, and Cat and Duplicat has some of the best backgrounds you'll see in any Tom and Jerry cartoon. The shadows and the moonlight sky just looks beautiful. Plus with Chuck Jones, there will always be amazing facial animations. We get a classic staple of cartoons with a mirror sequence, where one character mimics another as if it's a mirror. The little choo-choo the rival cat makes for some reason always cracked me up, plus Tom's interpretation of it. This one may get overlooked, as a lot of people will hate on Chuck Jones' era of Tom and Jerry shorts, but I will defend them. This one is well worth a watch. The Cat Concerto is a classic from 1947. It won the Oscar for Best Short Subject Cartoon for that year, and is widely regarded as the best Tom and Jerry short. I wouldn't quite go that far myself. Maybe 8 is pretty low in the ranking, possibly because I've never really been into classical music, but I can still appreciate this is a masterpiece. Tom is performing a piano version of Franz Liszt's Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2, while Jerry is trying his best to ruin the performance after being awoken from his slumber. It is very similar to a Looney Tunes short, Rhapsody Rabbit, which was released around the same time. Both studios claimed the other one plagiarised our short. It was never confirmed if either studio did. I personally like them both, but would say Cat Concerto is just slightly better. In at 7 we have Little Quacker, a 1950 short that introduces us to a little duck called Quacker. It's rare that Tom is chasing another animal rather than Jerry, and it does switch up the formula, with the mother duck rightly furious with Tom for stealing her baby. And Jerry, who is the usual target for Tom's shenanigans, protects the little duck from becoming roast duck. I also notice a lot of these cartoons involve Jerry being woken up. What a lazy that he was. It's one of the first cartoons to include different characters. It is a breath of fresh air. With a great dynamic between the whole group, Little Quacker would become a bit part character in many of the other Tom and Jerry shorts, and was always one of my favourite secondary characters. The Yankee Doodle Mouse is a 1943 short, produced right in the middle of World War II. It does centre around themes to do with the war, and it was another Tom and Jerry short to win an Oscar. They really were the darlings of the Oscars, when you consider other studios at the time like Warner Brothers were struggling to win any Oscars. I just love how frantic the early shorts were. So much happens so quickly and it's gag after gag. It's bombastic, it's loud, and it's fantastic. The idea of a cat raid shelter always amused me. It can be a little bit overly patriotic in parts, but then it is also a propaganda short to some extent. Like many other studios at the time, this short was made to get the American nation behind the troops, as America was just entering the war. Although it isn't as heavy-handed as other war-themed shorts at the time, and it does still hold up to this day, with the exception of one gag that has very rarely been broadcast.
Poor simple Tom, he was putty in her hands.
Blue Cat Blues is a 1956 short, and is very different to any other typical Tom and Jerry shorts. It deals with the idea of Tom being so heartbroken from a relationship that he turns to alcohol and then suicidal thoughts. With Jerry portrayed as his friend in the short, he narrates the story of Tom's demise. When I was young, I didn't really understand the short too much, but it's one to watch as an adult, where you can really understand the themes. It's a very dark cartoon, with no happy ending, as Jerry ends up sitting beside Tom on the train tracks, as they both wait for a train. It maybe doesn't have the best message when it comes to depression, but I would still say it's one of the most important and significant Tom and Jerry shorts of all time. The Two Mouseketeers is a 1952 short and is a parody of the Three Musketeers. Set in France, Tom is tasked with protecting the king's banquet, which of course is being raided by Jerry and his friend Nibbles. Some amazing scenery throughout this short, again considered one of the all-time classics. The food looks so amazing, I could gobble it all down. We get another staple of the Tom and Jerry cartoons as well, which is the Tom Scream. I think personally, the shorts made around this time were the peak of visual art style. There's so much detail in everything. Of course, this was when budgets were at their highest, and it really was the golden age of classic animation. Just like in Blue Cat Blues though, it does have a very dark ending, with Tom being sentenced to death by guillotine. These Tom and Jerry cartoons really were not made for kids.
Touché, pussycat.
It was the night before Christmas, and it was a 1941 short, where nothing was stirring, not even a mouse. Well, apart from Jerry, of course, he's always stirring. This Christmas classic is the complete opposite to the previous few choices, in that it's a warm, gooey feeling you get while watching. A nice, comfortable tale of a cat and mouse chasing each other throughout the house. It was only the third short in the history of Tom and Jerry, and it was the first one where they really started to hit their stride. It's a perfect Christmas viewing. It also ends with a happy ending, with Tom and Jerry putting their differences aside to have a lovely Christmas together in the warmth. A rare good ending for both the characters.
Cause of decease, lost fight with bulldog. Pass granted.
Heavenly Puss is a 1949 short, where Tom just straight up dies. After another failed attempt to catch Jerry, he is absolutely flattened by a grand piano. On his way to heaven, we see one of the darkest jokes in any cartoon franchise.
What some people won't do.
With him failing to get into heaven due to him being a bad old putty tat. Oh wait, wrong cat. Either way, he's sent back to Earth to seek forgiveness from Jerry. It's such a twisted but funny cartoon. Especially Jerry's confusion and reaction to Tom pleading for his life. Probably some of the best music direction you'll see in any Tom and Jerry short. The visuals again are on point. I just love these cartoons. There were so many to choose from, but there is a few notable mentions that didn't quite make the top 10. So here we go. The all-time best Tom and Jerry short is The Little Orphan from 1949. What a year for Tom and Jerry, with 3 shorts from this year making it into my top 10. And another Oscar winner as well. It was one I saw so much growing up. Again, the animators that draw the food in these cartoons. You make me so goddamn hungry. The Thanksgiving feast is another to make my mouth water. Similar to the two Mouseketeers, both Jerry and Nibbles attempt to consume the feast, with Nibbles maybe having eyes bigger than his stomach. And of course, Tom as always is there to try to stop them. Just in my eyes, the perfect Tom and Jerry short. It's just got everything, and it's the right balance. The gags are some of the most funniest you'll see in any cartoon, and it's a big reason why I became a fan of these cartoons and animation in general. So there we go. That was my top 10 favourite Tom and Jerry shorts. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you have some favourite Tom and Jerry cartoons? Maybe some I did not mention? Feel free to comment below. But for now, take care and leave me alone.